Hey everyone, how you doing? My name is Status. This is Homefront. It's a game that came out 2 days ago. It is a first-person shooter, kind of like Call of Duty Battlefield-esque. The maps are pretty large in relation to, say, Call of Duty Black Ops, and it's a lot more like Battlefield, but it's kind of unique in its own little way. As you can see here, I start off with the Super V. It's got the silencer attached to it. My kill streaks are the Parrot and the Hellfire. The Hellfire I'm not really a big fan of because every time I use it, I never get a kill. For whatever reason, every time I hear enemy airstrike, I get my ass blown up, but I don't get a single kill. I don't know. But the Parrot, I do love the Parrot. As you can see, I use it in the beginning of the game because I like to get a feel of where the enemy's going. My team, you know where they're spawning because you can see them when you parachute down. That's another thing. When you spawn, you don't just spawn on the ground, you parachute down so you get more of a bird's eye view. But don't take that the wrong way. You don't actually like guide yourself on a parachute or anything weird like that. But I do like to use the Parrot in the beginning of the map because you can see which way the enemy's going. You can even see if they split up because if you only tag 4 people on the right, you know the rest of their team has to be going left. And sorry for the audio change. I'm sure it sounds a little different. My mic crapped out and I had to reload the whole thing. It's not a big deal. The rest of my class this game was improved hip fire and faster reload, and I'm using flashbangs. I'm not sure which perks are the best. I can't really give you advice on that. I just kind of read them and read that those would probably be the most practical. I recently switched to more XP because I'm trying to get the higher loadouts. I'm not really sure entirely how the loadouts work. The last one that I haven't unlocked is explosive. I don't think it gives you anything really different per se. I think the default one gives you something different, kind of like Call of Duty, how you unlock the later ones, but regardless. I actually have explosive unlocked half the time for whatever reason. It says I'm not a high enough level, but as you can see there, when I quick changed classes, I could have chose explosive. I don't really know what's going on. It might be a bug, it might be the game type. I have no clue. As for Homefront as a whole, I'm really enjoying it so far. The large maps and the large amount of players in each game is really taking a little bit of getting used to because I'm used to playing Call of Duty Black Ops personally, and it's nothing like the same. You know, in Call of Duty, you run into bottom construction on firing range, and you see 4 guys right in front of you. Homefront's not really the same. That's not to say you don't see a lot of people at once, because there are instances where I could see their whole team spawning and running to one area. I mean, most of the time I get my ass kicked by them. Not gonna lie to you. Call of Duty, I kind of felt like a superhero in the way that, I could kill 25 people in one life. Homefront is totally different. I am getting my ass kicked. And it's not because I'm playing dumb or playing bad, it's just a difficult game as far as first-person shooters go. I'm having a tough time getting used to all the changes, but it's really coming along. My favorite gun so far is the Super V. It's a submachine gun. The iron sights are pretty good. I don't put a sight on it. I don't feel it's necessary. There's not a lot of recoil, except for when you're trying to shoot a guy hiding behind a wall like that guy. One thing that really sets Homefront apart from most first-person shooters is it's really vehicle heavy. I mean, every time you walk outside, you're not going to get blown up by a tank, but you can spawn into vehicles, you could spawn and create vehicles, you can use them in kill streaks. If somebody on your team has a tank or has a helicopter, you can spawn into it instead of on the ground. It's pretty useful. One thing you always want to have is your rocket launcher. You always want to have that as one of your kill streaks. I don't right now because I am stupid, but it's really, really handy. And there's EMP grenades that you can replace your flash grenades for, and that actually temporarily shuts down a kill streak. So like if there's a tank, you throw that there, it's stuck in place, and you could whip out those rockets and just blow it to all hell. And it's really, really useful instead of getting your whole team stuck behind this huge enemy tank with 4 enemies in it. It's just ridiculous. It gets out of hand. The kill streaks, I've not really been noticing a huge deal with the air kill streaks. In Call of Duty, you can get the chopper gunner and you can just mow down like 40 people straight. That definitely doesn't happen. I'm a little biased because I am getting just mowed down by those airstreaks every single time. Every single time. But it's really not bad. It's, twice a game I get killed by an airstrike. I can live with that. I can definitely live with that. In games like Call of Duty, just the kill streaks are absolutely out of hand. I cannot stand them. Especially if you join a game late, just forget about it. You join that game late, and some schmo just left that game because he was getting slaughtered. You're down like 1,000 points, and they just have every single kill streak possible. It's just a nightmare. It is not fun at all. I haven't noticed that at all in this game. I mean, it's only been 2 days, but in Call of Duty, you get that every 5 minutes. I'm gonna make a lot of comparisons to Call of Duty because it's, the most popular thing and the easiest thing to reference. It's not to say that that's, the best game on the market or anything. That's just an easy reference that everybody understands. But anyway, I also tried out the Scar, and the Scar's not bad. It's single fire, not automatic. It's usually 2 shots to kill unless they're at a range. Sometimes it's 3. I've experienced like shooting 4 bullets into a guy with a Scar from far away, and he didn't die. I don't know what was going on with that. It was probably just the lag earlier. I was doing the nasty with the Scar earlier, but my connection kept getting dropped, and the servers were crashing. It was a whole nightmare, so I couldn't really record. I was just having a good time. I do like the first sniper, the semi-auto one. The bolt-action one, I like the scope better. I definitely like the thermal feel, but it's just fires so slow that when it's always a 2-shot kill unless you're on their head, I can't find it effective. Maybe later on I'll figure out how to use it better, but it's really just not working for me. The first one fires much faster and it's much easier to use. As you can see, that airstrike is a perfect example of how I get no kills with it ever. So after I record this, I'm going to go switch Hellfire out for RPG because I do a lot more work with those in the vehicles. For the vehicles, when you destroy them, they have a proximity damage, so you don't actually have to hit them with the RPG. If you hit near them, it affects them the same, which makes it much easier to blow down a kill streak or to blow down a tank. It is a great idea. The RPGs really don't do damage to people. I've only been killed by 1, and I've tried multiple times when I had 1 left to just try to rocket that guy in the chest. It usually just doesn't work out. I like that. The one thing I absolutely hate about any game is things like noob tubes and stuff like that. I just cannot stand a guy turning a corner and just firing off a noob tube and blowing up 4 of us. That just really grinds my gears. So I'm glad that the RPG doesn't do much damage. That's not a problem. I tried out the ACR. I like the ACR. That's more of my mid-range gun. The Super V is kind of my kind of my rusher kind of gun. I like to run in behind enemy lines, come up maybe behind their spawn. The ICR, you can kind of sit back and pick them off. It's not a sniper by any means, but if you pepper the shots, you can take them out from far away. The Super V is kind of harder to get those long-range kills. You could still do it, but it's a little bit harder. The drop-off is kind of more severe. The frag grenades, you throw them a little strange. You throw them more like Battlefield. They don't go exactly where your hand would throw it. They kind of just like shoot a line drive. It's not too difficult to use, but it's just going to take a little bit of getting used to. Everything in this game is pretty much going to take getting used to because it's different than all the first-person shooters I've played. In regards to Call of Duty, it's much different. Battlefield is a little more similar, like I mentioned before. I played the campaign. The campaign's not bad. It's pretty fun. It's really interesting backstory, like the Koreans invading us. It really intrigues me because no games have really done that before. No games kind of experimented with people invading America. Every other war game is really us in other countries, and it's kind of good for a new change. I usually don't play campaign, so I'm not going to really rate it because this is probably the only campaign I've ever played, except for Halo 3. And the only reason I played it because the servers were down. And in regards to the connection, they really are bettering the connection. In a week or so, you won't notice any connection problems. I know from following them on Twitter that they had to put up tons more dedicated servers because they didn't expect anything like the turnout they got. I know from briefly speaking with the developers that they want to keep the lines between the players and the developers strong, meaning they want to hear your communication with them. They want to know what you would do to the game, what you would change, especially like bugs and glitches. If you find any bug or any glitch, you let them know. You can contact them from email or on their website or Twitter. You can go to like thq.com, everything. If they find the bug and they feel it is a bug or a glitch and it's not just part of the game, they'll have it fixed in the next multiplayer hotfix. If you're wondering about my accent, if you feel I do have an accent, my name is Nick. I'm 16. I'm from New York, Long Island, New York. So if you do feel like I have an accent, you're probably from somewhere else. I don't think I have an accent. No New Yorker does, but some say we have like the biggest accent. And this is a total parrot drone fail. It wouldn't go up or down, so it was just kind of stuck at like 10 feet in the air, and I couldn't really do much, so I just tried to get as many as I could, not really doing anything. I ran into poles, I ran into trucks. It was a nightmare. But really, if you do find a bug like this, I do encourage you to report it, because they will fix it, they will adjust it, and it'll make the game a lot better. The game, I don't think it'll die out soon. I hope not, anyway, because I want to play it for a long time. I do think there will be a lot of people playing it. Um, Halo 3 is one of those games that really lasted for a long time until the release of like Halo Reach. I think Halo Reach is like the worst game in the entire world because it took Halo, which was made to be simple in the way that there wasn't, 45 different weapons, there wasn't all this crazy nonsense. It was just you spawned, you went to get a weapon that you wanted, and you kill the other team. It was small maps, it was simple. Everybody liked Halo 3 that played it. Halo Reach took the game that was supposed to be simple and really didn't do anything like it. It made a totally different game, and it was awful. That's a personal opinion. All of my friends, we were all Halo 3 junkies. We all hate it. Only one of my friends actually plays it, and he dreads playing it. It's just the only game out for him right now. He's probably going to go get HomeFront tomorrow. Sorry if this got a little boring. I wanted to take the opportunity of the game just coming out to really explain it, and 11 minutes is a long time for my first commentary. But if you did like it, subscribe, and I'll definitely put out more for you. I should have a video out later in the week, probably the weekend. I'll see you then.